Here with Westfield head football coach Coach Simmons, his Bulldogs win another classic in double overtime over the Oscar Smith Tigers at Hampton University for the 6A state championship. Coach, you guys just can't play regulation with the Tigers, can you?
No, I got to the end of the game, I was like, oh, we're going to do this again. Especially when we had the lead at 21-7, you felt like, hey, maybe we'll get out of this one with a comfortable lead and win it. And they fought back, and, as they say, they got players too, and hats off to them. And I do feel bad for them to lose another one like this. It's tough, I'm sure, on them and the kids, and you feel for them, but really proud of our guys and proud of the staff, and it's just accumulation of a lot of hard work.
You guys would feel worse if you didn't win this game.
Sure, absolutely.
21-7 lead. They started first with the touchdown, 7-0. I thought what changed the game, those second, third quarters, even parts of the fourth quarter until they got hot, was your defensive line started to get better pressure. Did you guys mix anything up scheme-wise, or was it just your defensive line just started playing better?
Well, I think we started playing a little better, and also I think we maybe, we were maybe in a little better shape and adjusted to the game a little bit better. I thought a big turning point in the game was when Sean got his feet tangled up with number 4, and he picked that off. And if he doesn't get his feet tangled up, I think it's a touchdown. So that's a 14-point flip right there. That was huge. And then in the last drive, defensively for us, multiple penalties. I don't know how many there were, but there were a lot of them, and they hurt.
Horse collar hurt you,
yeah. That hurt.
Well, I thought another thing, too, going to the offensive side of the ball, and your guys touched on it, Raymond in particular in the press conference, was that last year everybody focusing on Tyler Scanlon, just a tremendous two-sport standout for you guys in football and basketball. But your wide receivers are tall and can make plays. And not just the two standouts in Sean Eckert and Ivory Frimpong today. You saw some other guys step up for you and make plays, and you got some good stop routes and comeback stuff to help out Raymond.
Yeah. Absolutely, and we felt the underneath stuff is where we had to make our bread and butter. And also the back out of the backfield, like I stated earlier, they don't play a lot of teams with a fullback. Not a lot of teams with tight ends, and so they're not experiencing that, and that kind of played in our hands a little bit.
One of the phrases I hear in basketball is a team that likes to press doesn't love to be pressed. So I guess in the philosophy of football, Bill D known for their smash mouth, being conservative and patient. They do have a great quarterback. Did you want to kind of do some of the things that they do to other teams with being, taking the small chunks and be conservative at times and not get out of your element? Was that part of the strategy? And what's kind of the overall game plan when you go into a team like Oscar Smith with what they have weaponry-wise?
I thought the game plan was this is what we think we can do, but once you get in the game, our game plan is to make adjustments. Something that my staff does a really good job with, and I lean on them a lot when it comes to the play calling of what they think is going to work. It's really a group effort from all of us, and I thought we made great adjustments throughout the game.
So many guys stepped up for you, from Cockrell to Eckert, Frimpong. You get on the list. I thought Kevin Petrillo was another unsung guy for you. He makes so many plays on defense, but you used him on offense today, too.
Absolutely. He was one of those guys that's been in the mix offensively for weeks, and we just haven't had to use him very much. But this was a game where he and Zach Jewell and Nolan Cockrell, it was kind of like, hey, man, you're not coming off the field. We got him a breather here and there, but they understood that they had to be on the field.
Last two, even though Brian Delaney misses the extra point for you, the UVA commit, he's been so good all year long. How crucial was it to have those touchbacks where they have dangerous return men? You made them start at the 20-yard line.
Well, the one he kicked and didn't quite make it, I think the guy's heels were on the the goal line, and I just went to him and I said, Brian, we got to have you, man. We can't kick it to that guy. He's very scary.
I mean, you heard Nick Saban say all the time about the hidden yardage and special teams. I mean, that's such a big deal, even though it's not to the common fan. For you guys to come out on top, I mean, it matters the whole deal, doesn't it?
Well, on Sundays, one of my coaches, Coach Callis, sends me a report and tells us what the average starting field position is, and I look at that religiously. That's something I go to, and I know that we win that game 99% of the time.
Final one, I think, for your time. You come out of the North, so battle-tested year in and year out. You guys had a couple of losses during the season, but I think it hardened you for this ride. Winning it back-to-back and doing it the way you did, what's it mean, and what are you going to remember from this ride?
The thing that kind of dawned on me earlier this playoff season was the growth that the kids are making. And one of my players mentioned it before practice when I had him share some thoughts about last season. He said, every week we won was another week I got to be with my teammates. I got to grow as a person. I got to grow as a football player. And, when you step back and look at it, that we got 5 extra weeks, for these guys to grow as young men and for us to grow as a football team and as a football program. And, you add up all the playoff games we've had, it's like 3 extra seasons, pretty special to get to have that opportunity.
Well, congrats. Go enjoy it.
Thanks.